Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Kiki's Kitchen. Today what we're going to do is we are going to go over some prices and some spices. And I went shopping yesterday, and I went outside of my little town and got some better deals on some meat. And of course, you know me, I get it and I freeze it. So I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what it is I'm finding out there. And then the other side is I went and got my glasses today. So I get my glasses in about a week. I'm so excited. So let me show you what I have here that I have purchased. So these are two boneless picnic shoulder roasts. It's a pork roast, a boneless picnic shoulder. Now, see how big that one is? Pretty good. That was pretty big. And then this is a smaller one, but still a pretty good size. And I will wrap that up and freeze them independently of one another so that I can pull them out and cook them one at a time. They were $2.29, so the two of them were $27 at Costco. That was a Costco thing. This is also a Costco thing, and this is an I-round, and I had two in the package, and this was $4.69 a pound, and which is really pretty good for a beef roast. Now, what I will do with this, I will make one of these a Swiss steak and one of these a pepper steak. And I will cut them in medallions, and then I'll pound them out, and then I'll cook them low and slow. So we've got that coming up. I also wanted to show you the shrimp that I get at Costco. This shrimp is, I think it's just large. Let's see if it, yep, there we go. This is actually, I wanted to show you this. See where it says $31.40 per pound? What that means, in case you don't know, is that there are 31 to 40 shrimp per pound, and this is a 2-pound bag. So if you were having 4 people for dinner, you could figure out about, and these are large. They're not extra large, but can you see in there the size of them? They're perfect for when you're making a dish with them. Maybe you'd want something a little bit bigger if you were doing a shrimp cocktail, but for, cooking, making a shrimp and rice dish, or shrimp and grits, or marinated shrimp, I think that these work just fine. These are chicken thighs. Now, these are skinless, boneless chicken thighs because that's what we like, although I do use white meat on chicken salad and stuff, but by and large, I like this a lot. And these were $2.99 a pound, $2.99 a pound. And the nice part about this is that they are sectioned off. You don't have to do it yourself. You can, they're sectioned off, and you can break them apart as you need them. So you can take 2 out, you can take 1 out, however many you need. And then finally, I got another pork loin, because we did that rolled pork loin, and I want to do another one that is going to be flavored differently. That was French onion Gruyere, and I want to do this one for maybe Italian. And then the other thing I use this for is I make my own homemade sausage. So this was $2.09 and $8 for this nice big chunk of meat. So this is kind of what I got yesterday. So let me, I'm going to shut you off here, and I will bring you back in just a minute. Come back. I'll bring you back in just a minute. I want to get these things wrapped and in the freezer. Okay, hang on. I did want to come back and say one more thing, just in case you didn't see the show where I, bought my stuff and I showed you how to freeze things and break them down. This is my wrap of choice. I always hang it upside down. There you go. Press and seal. Glad press and seal. Because it sticks to anything, including itself, but it doesn't get all balled up like saran wrap, so I love it. So what I do when I wrap my meat is I wrap it end to end. I want to cover all of the surface part, which I didn't quite get on this one. So I will take another little piece because I don't want any of the meat exposed to air, because air is the enemy. It will freezer burn your meat. So wrap it nice and tight, see? And then I put it inside of a Ziploc. And I also actually mark it as to what I have inside of the Ziploc. So this is I-round, and today is, I think, the 25th, or close enough to. So I'm going to put that in there so that I know when it's there, because if there's something else, I might want to use that before this. So I'm going to put both of these in here. That is a double layer of protection against the air and burning your meat. So you definitely, with the cost of meat, yikes, you need to protect it. Okay, so, and the same thing, although this is going to be too big for this, I feel confident. But, let's see, can I shove it in there? I think I can. Because I really do want, yay, works. I really do want to fight off the air, you know. So this way I can leave it in there until I want it. I don't have to feel like it's, you know, going to go bad on me. So let me get all of this stuff out to the freezer, and I'll be back. Okay, y'all, we're back, and everything's in the freezer and put away, so that's a good thing. There are a couple more things that I want to show you, and then, you know, actually I'm going to do a separate video on making all different kinds of salad dressings, because we've got a big salad season coming up, so we want to be prepared to be able to switch those salads up just simply by changing the dressing, and it's all very easy, I promise. And I want to show you another little price thing here. A couple of little price things, so let me turn this around. Okay, so yesterday I was in Costco and I got this 16-ounce bottle of vanilla. It was about $10. I'm going to tell you, it was not $11. It might have been $10.49 or it might have been $9.99, but it was right around $10. This vanilla, which is, what does that say? 2 ounces. 2 ounces for this vanilla, and it was $4. So I'd say Costco wins this one for sure. I will also say this is set out for our vinegar and oil, and me showing you how to do all that stuff. Don't panic, you don't have to have all those. I just want to show you what's available. But this is a Kirkland's organic extra virgin olive oil. This big giant thing is $11.99, and it is really, really good olive oil. So just saying, you know, you can get some that are that big and have them be $17. And yes, they're going to be really good olive oils too. But this does the trick for about every single thing you need it to do. So let me spin you back around here a second. So what I want to do is, one of our wonderful viewers had made the suggestion to do a trip around the kitchen for spices. And, you know, what might be some standard basic spices for beginners, what's good to have on hand in your pantry, and different things that you can do with them. Like, for instance, I'm going to show you that you never have to buy those silly packages of taco mix filled with sodium and all kinds of things you don't know what's in. We'll just make our own. It's just much easier, it's more cost effective, and it's definitely tastier. Okay, so I'm going to spin you back around. Now, you know my spiel on kosher salt, right? This is less than $3, and it is a 3-pound box. And you use it 1 for 1. 1 teaspoon for 1 teaspoon. 1 tablespoon for 1 tablespoon. It's bigger than iodized salt, but it is so much more smooth. Iodized salt can be bitter, and I use it for baking. I use it for absolutely everything. This is sugar in the raw called turbinado. I use that for a lot of my spice blends because it won't burn like brown sugar does. So I mix that with, you know, my granulated garlic and all of those spice rubs that are spice things that I mix together to make my butt rubs and different things. And that sugar in the raw, that's a good thing to have. Wanted to show you this because you've also heard my spiel on, I'm sure, if you watched anything I do savory, on granulated garlic. Granulated garlic This is granulated California garlic, but it's granulated garlic. I get this at Costco. It is $5 or less. It's $4.79, something like that, for this big, huge thing. Lasts a pretty good long while. And granulated garlic, to me, is a better way to control the flavor of garlic. Garlic salt, then you have salt issues, because you want to salt it like you would normally salt it, but now you've already got the granulated salt in there, or the garlic salt in there. So that's an no bueno to me. Garlic powder, it's so light and fluffy. It's kind of how I feel about ground pepper versus coarse black pepper. It's too light to be able to control it properly. Plus, to me, I get a garlicky, chemically, I don't know, that's just me. This is what I like, granulated garlic. You control exactly what you're putting in your dish. On that black pepper note, this is coarse ground pepper. Again, it's a Kirkland's product from Costco, and it's less than $5. Much better than the grocery store. So if you do have a Costco around you, there are a few things, not everything in Costco is a deal. But, there are certain things like that's the spices and the oils and stuff like that. And sometimes the meats, like I said, I got a good shoulder roast there yesterday for a good price, but anyway, moving on. I will recap this and show you later what goes with what. So you see it back up there in the corner are all my Old Bay spices. I gotta have those when I do fish. I do fish basically in butter, a little olive oil, and a big, nice, generous dusting of Old Bay. Now, what I have and what I like is I like to put garlic and herb on one side of my fish, and then the regular Old Bay on the other side. And then you can see that's an Old Bay blackening. Then I'll do if I'm going to blacken fish. Having one Old Bay, you don't have to have all of them, but just get the basic Old Bay if you're going to cook fish or shrimp. It's awesome on shrimp too. So this level of my spices are kind of more my odd things, my odds and ends that I don't kind of, like these are my warm spices, my allspice, my cloves, cardamom, turmeric. Look, there is an actual garlic powder back there. We need to get rid of that. I've got lemon pepper back there. I've got Cajun seasoning. These are kind of my odds and ends. The only thing in here that I'd like to see y'all have is that Old Bay, a regular Old Bay for if you're going to do meat or fish. Fish or shrimp. And then the cloves and the allspice here, I use that when I'm doing like beef stew and beef kind of thing. So, we can move into that in the fall. And then actually, see that kitchen bouquet? That's always a really nice thing to have when you're going to make some gravy. But in this whole thing, what I'd really like to see that I think you need would be Old Bay. Okay, so moving along. And then, of course, these things. Kosher salt for sure, granulated garlic for sure, and coarse black pepper for sure. Sugar in the raw will come in if we're going to make a butt rub. Okay, so, sorry for making you busy. This is my spice rack that my darling niece Kelly made for me, and isn't it just so awesome? I love it. And what of course I have in here is my granulated garlic. This is the other thing, because we like spicy crushed red pepper. We have it in a lot of things that I make call for crushed red pepper. If you don't like spice, okay, fine. This is Cavender's Greek spice. This is the best all-in-one spice for roasted vegetables that I can tell you that I've ever used. So again, that's a good thing to have. Cavender's Greek spice goes great on Greek chicken. It's an awesome thing. So these are all peppers, Another one of those things. Get rid of that. Sometimes, you know, you wonder why you have things in here for such a long time. This is actually a Paula Deen product, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe that's just where I got it. A crazy mixed up pepper. I love peppers. So, and then, you know what? Every kitchen, honestly, should have a seasoning salt. Because, you know, you can put that on just potatoes when you roast them in the oven. So, okay. So then down here, we have dill weed, which I use all the time with cucumbers and sour cream. Basil, and these kinds of things, the basil and the dill weed, they're great to have when you're making things like your own, ranch dressing, chili powder. Gotta have chili powder. Oops, get your finger off of there, girl. Chili powder for sure. And ground cumin is a must. And ground mustard is a must. Chili powder. So, again, over the thing. So, and then this is all of my combinations that I have. This is one that I've put together, and I use this on prime rib, and it's got rosemary and garlic and kosher salt and pepper in it. And this is just dried rosemary, and this is my ground allspice. I mean, I've got backups for my backups when it comes to spice. This is my butt rub that uses the turbinado and dried onion. And actually, I know I'm making you crazy, and I'm sorry, but you see, this is what you want too. This chopped dried onion, I like that. And now I also do use onion powder because I have a few recipes like my clam dip that call for onion powder, and you know, or onion salt. Actually, I think that's onion salt in that one. And then of course oregano. Gotta have oregano. What else do I have? Poultry seasoning. You know, that comes out every Thanksgiving for sure. So, I'm probably making you crazy. I'm not trying to. Curry powder. A lot of people say in Indian food, you know, of course they use a lot of curry. And here's my ground cumin. I've got like 14 of those for sure. But I use curry powder in chicken salad, and it's really, really good. And then I've got a couple of chicken recipes that call for curry powder. So it's not, if you use it properly, it's not overpowering at all. So hang on one second. I'm going to set up a few little things and show you, you know, the basic of a spice mixture for Mexican and maybe for ranch dressing, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we're going to make a little ranch dressing. So this is very simple, and these are, again, the spices that I'm going to go over in these different dressings are the ones that I really think that you need to keep on hand. And what I have, I've pre-measured everything here. So I have granulated garlic, I have dill, I have coarse black pepper, I have kosher salt, which you can't see because it's white on white, but it's there, and I have onion powder. That's the dry ingredient. Now, also, the dry ingredient would be parsley, dried parsley, but I don't have any. But I do have fresh parsley. So I'm going to substitute the fresh for the dry, which is fine because this is going to be refrigerated anyway. But what you should know is that fresh herbs are not as potent, it makes sense, as dry herbs, right? So, the recipe will call for, I think 1 tablespoon of, yes it does, 1 tablespoon of, maybe 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. I'm going to use like 5 because it's not as potent. It only makes sense, doesn't it, that when something is dried it would intensify in flavor. So whenever you're using fresh, if you're using fresh rosemary, just know that you need to have more than what you would for dried rosemary. Fresh oregano, you need to have more than what you would for the dried that you already have in your pantry. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here. And I can already hear some people saying, "Oh, you talk too much." How am I supposed to teach you if I don't talk to you? So this is buttermilk, and shake, shake, shake. You know I always say shake, 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 because with buttermilk, it floats to the bottom for sure. So it's 1 cup of buttermilk. Obviously, I'm making buttermilk ranch, right? So let's go into my bowl. All of these other things. So these were my spices. My onion powder, black pepper, coarse, kosher salt, onion powder, and dill. In it goes. Let's put the rest of this stuff in first. So this is my parsley. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Close enough. Close enough. 5. And then chives. I don't have any dried chives either. So I am going to use the green part of an onion. You know, the green part of a scallion onion. And it only calls for chives, it only calls for a teaspoon. So a tablespoon works. Actually, I'm going to put in all that I have on that table. So then it calls for some, well, salt I already have in here. I want 2 to 3 teaspoons of fresh lemon juice. And if you don't have a squeezer, I'm telling you, it's an awesome thing. So let's do 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then, actually, I am going to put more in here because I am doubling this recipe, as I always do. So that's why you got to read my recipe. Sometimes I change it in the written part. 1, 2. Because I did change that. So, and now I need a cup of sour cream. And I'm just going to put it right back here in this cup that I had my milk, my buttermilk in. Looks good to me. And then finally, a cup of mayo. And of course, you know I'm using South Carolina's Best Dukes. Getting messy. I do believe I need to open another jar. But I think I can get us through for this one. Good. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Goodness gracious, today, yesterday when I was running all my grocery store errands, the cost of things is just killing me. I'm telling you, it's just wild to me. Duke's mayonnaise was over $4 everywhere I went. Kind of like crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, so that, oh, actually, I don't think I put in Worcestershire. I did not. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. I will tell you this all the time. People, I don't like Worcestershire sauce. You're not going to taste it, but if you, I always say, you're not going to taste it if you add it. But if you don't add it, you're going to miss it. So, you do what you do, but you won't taste it, I promise. And so, I want a ½ teaspoon. And let me get this in here. And this will last in the refrigerator as long as it takes you to eat it, unless you are, I mean, you know, In my house, ranch dressing doesn't last very long, and there's just the two of us. So now I'm going to whisk this together. The important part about ranch dressing, truly, is that it needs to set up. So I'm going to whisk this. I'm going to put it in that mason jar, put a lid on it, and I'm going to put it in the fridge. And by the time dinner rolls around, it needs a good hour to sit up. And it needs a little longer for all of the flavors to truly marry. Oh, but can you see this? I know you can't, so don't be yelling at me. It is just the best dressing ever. If you like ranch, that is. I am a ranch girl, I must say. Always, always, always taste your product. And that, my friends, is delicious. Just delicious. So like I said, you want to let it set up. I'm going to put it in this jar. And actually, to tell you the truth, because I did taste it, I'm going to add a little bit more garlic to it. So what did I put in there? I put in a teaspoon. Probably more like 2. To my taste, anyway. Yep. That's to my taste. All right. So I'm going to cut you off here. I'll be back and we'll do some vinaigrettes. You know what I've decided to do? I'm going to end this video and then I'm going to pick back up on another video right after this, continuing to make different types of dressings. This one's already 26 minutes long and I can already, you know, I don't want it to get too long. So I will make another one and I'll be back. So stay tuned. Bye.